What's going on, guys? Hilltown here. If you recall, I bought this Craftsman tractor a few weeks ago. Had a no start, no shut off condition with the key, but I was able to start it by jumping out the solenoid. So I got that issue resolved. It was a loose connector on the seat safety switch, but it still wouldn't shut off with the key. So I'm going to check a solution that BC Truck suggested. I checked the coil wire connectivity to see if that's causing the no shut off condition. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull this engine cover off, and we're going to get a closer look. Okay guys, the battery is already disconnected just to be safe, so I'm going to pull this cover off. Okay, the cover's off, and here's our issue. Here's the coil wire, guys, just kind of dangling here. My first clue should have been before I took the engine cover off. See how this thing's just flopping around? But anyway, let's reconnect this, and we should be back in business. The connector is right under the coil here. Thanks, BC Truck. You saved me a lot of troubleshooting. If you were closer, I'd buy you a beer, buddy. One more thing before we start this thing up. See this threaded hole for the dipstick tube? When I bought this thing, I mentioned in my previous video, this thing was encased in oil, and I almost didn't buy it because of that. But when I got it home, I looked at it a little bit closer, and this is the threaded, I don't know, call it whatever you want, the threaded seal for the dipstick tube, and this thing was all deteriorated away, and it was leaking from here. So I went out and I purchased a new dipstick tube, because the one that was on this thing had a big hole in it. I'll show you in a second. And I also purchased this seal that was the reason for my leak. So let's go ahead and get this together. Yeah, for some reason the dipstick tube that was on this thing must have been rubbing on the engine case, and it caused a big hole to develop in this thing. So we're going to go ahead and replace that. Hello, dear. Yeah, you're going to be on camera in your bath towel if you're not careful here. Sorry, guys. So here's the dipstick tube. Let's go ahead and put this thing in. The part number, in case you're curious, is 691398. Yeah, she's helping me, all right.
She's a good assistant.
She's talking about the cat. The cat's out here with me this morning, rolling in all sorts of crap, and then she's going to go in and lay on our sofa. But all right, so here's the new tube. Part number, what did I say, 691398. It's kind of a labor of love with this tractor, because you know, you really got to balance what you're going to spend on parts to revive a 20-year-old tractor. But there's nothing wrong with this thing. It runs perfectly fine. I figured it's worth the expense. My total in for parts, and I bought a new ignition switch too, which I didn't mention. My total in for parts on this thing is probably, I don't know, maybe 50 bucks, something like that. So not too bad. So I'm going to go ahead and put this seal back in at the base of where the dipstick tube screws into the block. I realize you guys can't see. Let me try to get you in there better. So this thing just threads in. Thread it until it stops, and then take our new dipstick tube. Then take our new dipstick tube and just give it a little pressure and put that thing in there. Line up the hole there, so you're going to be able to mount it back to the engine cover.